everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
An almost Shabbat Shalom. We
Almost,
haven't lit the candles
Shabbat.
yet.
But never too early. Never
too early. It's never too early. It is beautiful. It was beautiful today, and it's supposed to be beautiful all weekend, which I'm so excited for after all of that rain that we had earlier in the week. So we're going to start with the words Ma Yafeh Hayom, how wonderful it is, because today is Shabbat. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
So we welcome Shabbat with Shabbat light. And the beautiful thing about Shabbat candles is that we bring this light into our homes, and we see the candles flicker, and we hope that mirrors the light in our lives and in our hearts, and that we bring that warmth and that glow to our families for this day of Shabbat. So we'll join together in lighting Shabbat candles and making Kiddush and Motzi as we welcome Shabbat together.
The moment of truth. Oh, on the first try.
Amazing.
Okay, we're gonna
Cantor, Peicott, just to say, you know, like the old school candles. You got like the fancy butane situation.
Oh yeah, I can't do. Come to services, I cannot do the matchsticks. It's not something that got passed down from Bubby to me. It just didn't happen.
That's part of the thing. That was like one of the ancient, trials for our people in the desert was, could they do the match?
Well, yeah, and our grandmothers who it could literally be down to the very bottom. They wouldn't burn. They just, their hands, they never burned.
I'm going to make fun of my wife, Ashley, which I'm going to talk about later in a minute, her. But she has the longest follow through when she lights a match. So she lights it, but then the follow through is like her full arm extension. I'm like, honey, you're going to burn the house down.
It's like Babe Ruth. She's just she's going for the outfield.
It's insane.
Okay, we're going to bring in that light of Shabbat 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. For those of you about to enjoy your dinner at home, we're going to have a little kiddush to sanctify this holy time that we have together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehillah lemikra'e kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Hashabbat lechayim. And last but not least, we have our motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam המוציא לחם מן הארץ. Amen. Te'avon. To those of you about to start your dinner, we're going to continue to welcome in Shabbat by welcoming in those Sabbath angels with the words of Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Zeitchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
So part of the beauty of Shabbat is that it comes every week. And that aspect of the quotidian gives us the opportunity each and every week to take a break, to take a rest from all of the troubles and the mushigas of the world. And I wrote last week in my Shabbat message about so much of the mushigas in our world. And I was thinking today about something my good friend and Cantor Peicott knows her well, is also my good friend Julie Silver, singer-songwriter, said to me many, many years ago, close to 20 years ago, that you can always count on Shabbat, but can Shabbat always count on you? That Shabbat is here each and every week as an opportunity for us, if only we embrace it, to push all of the mushigas from our week and our lives and our world to the side for a moment. It'll all be there on Sunday. And just be, just exist, just rest and appreciate the blessings in our lives for these 25 hours of Shabbat. And so I hope that all of us, as we enter Shabbat tonight, can just take a deep breath and just embrace Shabbat as we move into moments of Baruch Hu and Shema.
We're going to take just a nice deep breath, as Rabbi Shapiro encouraged us to do, because we actually have opportunities throughout our day, throughout our different prayer services, to have that moment of rest. And that's that Shema moment where we just stop everything that we're doing, we close our eyes, and we just focus inward for just a brief second of time. So take a nice deep breath. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
So, Peicott, the question for you.
Oh boy.
See, I sound like Rabbi Eshel, right, with a question, but a question for you. So, you and your husband, Joe, he's amazing, right? How do you guys meet?
He was my next door neighbor in an
Oh,
apartment complex that I lived in one complex and he lived in the complex next door in West LA
wow.
in our 20s.
And and you guys met and like, I don't know, was it love at first sight? What was the like dynamic? What was your first thought? I asked this to like every couple who's wedding I
It
do.
was
What was your
it
first thought when you saw him?
Okay, so this is really nerdy of me.
Yeah.
So my kitchen window could look on his balcony. And there
Oh,
was always this
oh,
guy.
you're here.
I know, there was always this guy.
Spy on
He
him.
would water his plants on his balcony and he would
Wait, let's
like
just go back to a second. I'm going to give your husband a lot of mushing asked about this, but like, so he was a single guy who had plants. That's impressive.
well, that was, yeah. So he had plants. This is who he is. Like, our backyard is amazing. And he was always like in the evening, he'd sit on the balcony and he would like do work. And I was like super intrigued by like, who is this grown up who lives next door to me? Like, who is this responsible man? That's how much of a nerd I am.
So, it's
So
funny.
it was intrigue. It was intrigue at first sight.
Absolutely, right? It's funny. So, my wife, Ashley, and many of the folks probably watching do as well. So Ashley and I met 13 years ago next week. Our 10th anniversary is coming up in about 8 weeks. And I've said this many times. I met her and, 8 hours later, I was sitting at a red light at Sunset and on La Brea, and I thought to myself, I'm going to marry her. Like, I just knew. I just knew. I can't believe I was right, but I just knew, right? And there's something about that. But the irony is that the Torah portion that we read this week actually kind of speaks to this idea of how we end up with the people that we end up loving. And Isaac and Rebecca meet in this week's Torah portion. They meet at a well. The well, which is sort of like the biblical water cooler at the office sort of situation. Robert Alter famously talked about it as a type scene for the Torah, right? That's kind of like the club, the J date of the Torah, if you will, or the whatever app is the new one that, you swipe or whatever, is the well. So Isaac and Rebecca meet, and the Torah tells us very simply, very matter-of-factly, that Isaac takes Rebecca as his wife, and then he loves her, which is a beautiful phrase. But if we actually think about it, it seems a little backwards, right? That he takes her as his wife and then he loves her, right? We would expect the opposite, that he loves her and then he takes her as his wife. But the Torah doesn't say that. And I think that speaks to two interesting truths. One is this idea that experience, that doing something actually creates the meaning for us. If we think back to the moment at Mount Sinai when the Jewish people received the Torah, what do they say? They say, Na'aseh v'nishma, we will do, and then we will understand. That it is in the doing, in the experience, that we create meaning and emotion and understanding. We've got about 60 folks tonight actually, who are going to participate in our Choosing Judaism program, wanting to learn more about Judaism and more about the Jewish people and join the family of the Jewish people and the family worship of our temple. And part of the beauty of this program is that it gives folks an opportunity not just to learn about Judaism, but to do Judaism, to experience it, and by experiencing it, to then fall in love with it. Isaac took Rebecca as his wife, and then he loved her. That deep and abiding love and affection really comes through all of the things that couples, friends, families experience together, live through together, move through together, and that deepens that love, that deepens that bond, that deepens that connection. And I came across beautiful note that a husband wrote to his longtime wife on the occasion of their anniversary a few years ago that I thought I would share on the Shabbat, just as a way to sort of put a period on this idea. He writes, "Dearest darling, 45 years ago today, we stood together under the chuppah as two young kids, in front of our family and friends, vowing for better or worse, in sickness and in health, for richer or poorer, till death do us part. We knew the commitment had no money-back guarantee, no magic potion, and no formula for success. Yet we were willing to stand together, believing that our love would beat the odds. Our wedding wasn't the biggest, most expensive, or best organized, but it was ours and marked our new beginning. With love and trust, we began to unravel our dreams. We became partners, lovers, parents, providers, and most of all, best friends. We have shared the good times and bad. We've lost friends and relatives. We've shown our good side and bad. We've been right and wrong. We've laughed and cried, consoled each other in times of sorrow, and weathered the storms of our changing lives. We've grown in wisdom, compassion, trust, and understanding. We haven't always seen eye to eye, but together we've walked the road of life. And through it all, we still walk, side by side, hand in hand, heart to heart. Everything changes. Time has sealed the years, and although I can't peel off 100 push-ups like I used to, if you asked me to, I would still try. I'm still the same teenager who was infatuated with you from the moment I first saw you across the crowded room. The one who comes to you when he's hurting, been wronged, needs a hug, picked a flower, wants to talk, or just make you laugh. I never thought I could love you more than the day I married you, but in reality, I've fallen in love with you all over again every day since I met you. The love and compassion you've shown me, our children, my parents, and all you do to bring my world together has captured my heart. There is no one in this world I would rather share my life with. If it's possible, I think I love you a little more every day. Nothing is for certain. Even after 45 years, there is still no money-back guarantee, no magic potion, and no formula for our happiness except, perhaps, the devotion and love we feel for each other. I may not be as young as I once was, but I'm in love with you more than I ever was. Happy anniversary, darling. I love you. That is the secret. The secret to deep and abiding love in any relationship we have in our lives, whether it's a partner, a parent, a child, a friend, is that deep and abiding love takes time and is the result of investment and experience and moments shared together. That's the lesson that the Torah comes to teach us on this Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. We're going to end our time with a little Oseh Shalom, just a prayer and a beacon for peace as we head into our Shabbat evening with our families. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat
Have a great
shalom.
weekend. Bye.